Hi, this is Len Furman, the sports time traveler. I have to start out by telling you that I was planning to take a couple of days off after the exciting conclusion to the National League East season, and we're now waiting for the beginning of the League Championship Series in a few days. But back in New York 50 years ago last night, there was an event that took place that I just couldn't miss. And so today's episode is titled, It Was Just an Exhibition Game, but oh my God, the world champion Knicks took on Dr. J and the New York Nets in a preseason game with a playoff feel. Madison Square Garden, October 3rd, 1973. The sports time traveler is still basking in the glow of the 1973 Mets' miracle finish to win the National League East. Now, while baseball has a break until the start of the AL and NL League Championship Series start on Saturday, it's time to turn to basketball. There was as big a game as you can have in the preseason last night in Madison Square Garden. 17,226 fans were on hand live to watch the Knicks versus the Nets, and I was there virtually to experience it. And now a quick introduction on this game from the Sports Time Traveler. In the early 1970s, I was a Knicks fan, and I paid almost no attention to the Nets. I was always intrigued by the ABA and their red, white, and blue ball and three-point line, but I just didn't have time to focus on the ABA when the Knicks were contenders or champions each season. I loved the Knicks' style of play, still unique in all NBA history. Most of the players and their coach were already legends by the fall of 1973 after having won 2 titles in 4 seasons. Reed, Frazier, DeBusschere, Bradley, Monroe, Lucas, Jackson, and coach Red Holtzman had a firm hold on the imagination of all New York basketball fans. Also, I lived in Jersey. The Nets were far away in Long Island. I had no ties to that area. The Nets might as well have been in the Netherlands. And so I missed this new sensation taking place in the Nassau Coliseum on a nightly basis from the fall of 1973 through the spring of 1976. Now I intend to experience what I missed 50 years ago, the emergence of one of the most electrifying athletes in sports history, the man who was MJ before MJ, the basketball player who was simply known as Dr. J. And now, last night's game in Madison Square Garden. The 1973 NBA champion New York Knicks, the group that played the ultimate team game to win the title, were hosting the recently renovated New York Nets of the ABA. The Nets brought in 2 players in the offseason that have Long Island buzzing over their possibilities. 23-year-old Julius Dr. J. Irving was acquired from the Virginia Squires, and 22-year-old Larry Special K. Keenan was acquired from the Memphis Tams. The pair are likely the best tandem of forwards in all professional basketball. Irving just might be the best basketball player on the planet. Here are his mind-boggling per-game stats from last year. Points per game, 31.9. That led the ABA. 12.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 2.5 steals, 1.8 blocks. There's nothing Julius Irving can't do. Special K, just a rookie, was acquired by getting his draft rights from the ABA's team in Memphis, the Tams. Keenan had played on the Memphis State college basketball team that went to the 1973 NCAA Finals last spring and averaged 20 points and 17 rebounds. What makes these 2 players so dynamic is that they both play the game with an above-the-basket style rarely ever seen before. Dr. J and Special K each possess an otherworldly ability to soar 10-plus feet in the air before taking a shot. Irving literally floats through the air on the way to making dramatic, crowd-shrieking dunks, while Special K has a soft touch from mid-range that is unblockable with a release point on his shot that is about the height of the rim. Dave DeBusschere of the Knicks was incredibly impressed with Dr. J. He told Joe O'Dea in the New York Daily News, "He's everything I heard about him. There's no comparing him to anybody in the NBA." The Knicks held the lead at halftime 42-41 as Dr. J shot only 2 for 9 while being guarded by DeBusschere for most of the time. DeBusschere, of course, is one of the greatest defensive players in basketball history. When DeBusschere sat for the second half with a couple of minor injuries, Irving was able to go to work. The Nets outscored the Knicks 31-20 in the third quarter and won the game 97-87, stunning the Garden crowd. It was the Nets' sixth win in 7 preseason games. Dr. J led the way with 27 points, the highest scorer in the game. Special K had 13 points and 16 rebounds. On the Knicks side, Walt Frazier played all 48 minutes and posted 25 points and 8 assists, while Dollar Bill Bradley played 41 minutes and poured in 19 points. The two teams will meet one more time this year, tomorrow night at the Nets home court in Long Island, the Nassau Coliseum. The Sports Time Traveler will be following Dr. J and Special K in the 1973-74 ABA season. That's all for today. Thanks for listening.